the truth. Hey, welcome. I'm Marie Elizabeth Molly. Today we're talking about learning out loud, the benefits of sharing your journey with others. And I'm also live on Instagram at the same time. So if you occasionally see me glance over to the right, that's because I'm checking out the comments over there. If there's any questions or comments happening on Instagram, but most of my attention is going to be over here with you. And if you are live, if you are watching live today, please go ahead and drop a hashtag live down below. I would love to know that you're here. And if you're catching this replay later, also let me know that. I would just love to know who's with me. And today I wanted to let you know that the enrollment for my masterclass is open. I'm doing a masterclass next Monday called Real Talk: How to Share Your Truth in Your Relationships Without Blowing Them Up. And that enrollment is ready. So if you would like if you would like to get the enrollment page for that, the ability to sign up for that, it's a free class. Drop masterclass either below in the comments, or if you're on Instagram, please DM me. And just you can DM me the word masterclass. We're going to be covering how to be real in your relationships in such a way that deepens your connection instead of blowing them up. I'm also going to share an easy conversation framework for setting up conversations where you can share vulnerable and scary truths, and also several key secrets to strengthening the foundation of love and safety in your relationships. So please drop the word masterclass below and I will get that link to you. And if you're on Instagram, drop me a DM and I will get that link to you. All right. So today, I'm Marie Elizabeth Molly. If we haven't met before, I help people have more loving and connected relationships. I call myself a relationship alchemist because my work gets results like magic. But it's not magic. It's definitely deeply intuitive, but it's not magic. I have a master's in traditional Chinese medicine. I have a ton of background in client work and deep study of relationships and sexuality, all of which I bring to the work with my clients. Again, if you are here live, hi, David, good to see you. I just switched over where I can see the comments. All right, so I'm going to hide this and we are going to get started. Let me keep the comments open. Hey, Marlene, good to see you over here on Instagram. Just so you know, I'm live on another camera, so you'll see me focused over here primarily, but I will glance over and see what's going on. So today we're talking about learning out loud, the benefits of sharing your journey with others. You're probably familiar with the saying, sharing is caring, but what does that even mean when it comes to growth and learning, especially around personal growth and relationships? Because we can tend to be in these relationship silos. I feel like relationships are a place that we get super private. Understandably, I mean, there's a lot that happens in relationship that we don't necessarily want to share with other people. And it can be challenging to admit that we don't always know how to do it well, and we don't know what to do in any given moment. And it can be tough to stay motivated when you're learning something new. So it can start to feel like you're the only one struggling with this thing, this relational thing. So today I'm going to cover the importance of sharing your relationship and your personal growth journey with other people. I believe that sharing your successes, your struggles, all of it, the whole shebang, helps you actually stick to your goals, helps you stay accountable, helps you keep moving forward. And I'm going to tell you several reasons why I believe that. I believe it also accelerates your progress and accelerates your getting to where you want to go. Plus, having community support is awesome. So the first piece that I wanted to talk about is this idea of breaking down the relationship silo. So we tend to be in these silos around our relationships, especially our intimate relationships, but we can be in silos around our family relationships, our friendships. We just tend to have this very insular, private situation around our relationships. And I think that's to the detriment of their health. Relationships, there's a reason why we have our loved ones at a wedding ceremony, for example. There is power in being witnessed by our community in our love. And it doesn't have to end there. Like, you have this, if you get married, I'm just using that as an example, not because I think everybody has to get married, but it's like we have that moment and then we disappear off into these private spaces and nobody knows what's going on. And then we never ask for help. And then the thing starts getting hard. And then we feel so alone and so screwed. Whereas if we could be more open with each other about the reality of life with another human, I think our relationships would be a lot healthier. The second piece is around normalizing challenges. So when you're in a community that is open to sharing about what is happening, this is something I see in my programs all the time. And clients have said this literally on our group calls. They have said, oh my God, I thought I was the only one who thought this, or I thought I was the only one who struggled with this. I thought I was, they've even said, like, I thought something was wrong with me. I thought I was crazy. I've heard all of it. Why? Because we don't talk about this stuff enough. So part of the work, when we get to be in community with each other and share about what's actually happening, what we're working to improve, what's great already, what's hard, when we share about that with each other, it starts to normalize the challenges. We realize we're not alone. This is something I keep coming back to over and over again, that phrase that got so popular for a minute, it takes a village. Remember when that was a big thing? It takes a village to raise a child, right? And that's how we actually used to function as a species. We used to raise our children in community. We used to share the childcare. I think it's actually a detriment, the kind of insular, separated situation that we've now come to. So I'm coming from a place that's actually in favor of more community, more communal living, whenever that makes sense, when you have the right group of people to do that with. And I think it's similar with our relationships. It takes a village to grow a healthy relationship. Because when you expect one person to fulfill all your relational needs, they have to be your lover, your partner, run the house with you. If you have children, raise the kids. Like we put so much pressure on one person to be all the things. And then we wonder why it's compressed, like why it is hard. And it's because I don't know that we're necessarily built for one person to be all the things. So in this way, when you choose to be in a community with other people who are also working on themselves and how they relate, A, it normalizes your challenges, and B, this is the third step, because I spoke about the first one already, which was getting out of the relationship silo, busting open the relationship silo and actually sharing the truth of what we experience. And then the second was normalizing challenges. And the third piece is when you are in a community of people who are all working on improving how they show up in their relationships, if one person is receiving coaching, now I'm going to specifically talk about a coaching example. In my programs, this is another thing I hear all the time, that I'm coaching somebody who brought a certain question. And somebody else in the group is like, oh my God, I totally needed to hear that. That was for me. We call this side door coaching. And a lot of times we don't know exactly the question or the answer that's going to unlock the place that we're stuck. But somebody else might ask it. An answer for somebody else might nail it. We only know what we know. We don't know what we don't know. And in the case of relationship, maybe somebody else knows something or knows to ask something that hasn't even occurred to us, but actually helps us see the thing that had us be stuck. And so in this way, I love coaching groups because, I mean, and don't get me wrong, I love the depth of individual coaching. I have coached and worked with clients individually for over 20 years. But what I love about groups is this aspect of side door coaching where you somebody else says something or receives an answer or asks a question that you didn't even know to ask, and all of a sudden one of your things gets unlocked and you see your shit from a whole new perspective that you just couldn't see before because you didn't know to ask that question. So this is one of the most powerful reasons to be in communities centered around growth and sharing the truth of what's actually up for you and the truth of what you're working with. Any questions so far? Any feedback, questions, reflections? I'd love to hear. I'm looking over here at Instagram. Hi, folks. If you have any questions, drop them below. Any feedback? Is this landing? Is this true to your experience? I'm curious. Same thing over here. If you're watching the replay, you're welcome to drop a hashtag nugget in the comments and tell me what the nugget is that's landing, or drop a question. So over here on Instagram, Angelique says, I love it when that happens, when someone else asks or shares something and you can get something from that. Exactly, because we don't know what we don't know. So this is the power of actually sharing our journey with other people, whatever your learning is centered around. So Angelique and I are in a speaker community together. And so our sharing with each other might more often be on that vein, on the vein of speaking, or in a community around that. And if you're in a community around relationships, your sharing is going to help somebody else improve their relationship or see what they're going through in a different light, understand, like normalize the challenges they're going through. We recognize that we're not alone. There's so much power that happens. So if there's no other questions, I'm going to go ahead and recap. And before I do, I also wanted to say that I am offering a free masterclass this coming Monday. So it's a perfect opportunity for you to practice receiving new knowledge in a group and asking questions and learning about it and sharing your journey with others. It's a perfect opportunity for you to practice. This Monday, April 25th, it's called Real Talk, how to share your truth in your relationships without blowing them up. I'm going to teach an easy conversation framework to help set up vulnerable and scary conversations. We're going to talk about being real. We're going to talk about how to strengthen the foundation of love and safety in your relationships so that you can be more yourself within them. So if you're wanting to get the link to register for that, you can drop the word masterclass down below. And if you're on Instagram, go ahead and message me because these comments disappear once this live is over. So go ahead and DM me the word masterclass and I'll get you the link. All right, so I'm going to recap. Today we've been talking about learning out loud, benefits of sharing your journey with others. And the key, as I see it, is to acknowledge that we tend to be in these relationship silos. So the first thing to remember is that this idea of a relationship silo, of a tight-knit, private two people and a child or several children, it's actually a very new concept, and it's been fairly detrimental in some ways, which is primarily this silo where we start to feel like, what is wrong with me? This isn't working, or that's not working, and I don't know how to ask for this or ask for that. And this relationship silo is part of what has us struggle. So by busting that open, by being willing to share with one another what's actually happening for us and what we're working on and what we need to improve, it helps our relationship be healthier. The second piece of why it's so important when you're learning out loud, to learn out loud, is to normalize challenges that you realize when you're sharing with others. Oh, I struggle with that too. You struggle with that? Oh, I'm not alone. That part is so key for us when we're dealing with our intimate relationships. And when I say intimate relationships, I mean our families, how we relate to our parents, our children, and our romantic intimate relationships. The fact that we're so isolating that on that is part of why it all feels so hard. The third piece is to, and this is specifically in a coaching context, is the power of side door coaching, that someone else might bring a question or an answer might come out for another person that answers a question you didn't even know to ask. So a big reason to choose group coaching over one-on-one coaching is for the side door coaching, because we don't know what we don't know. And all we know is to ask the questions we think to ask. But by somebody else bringing a question that's like, oh my God, that totally unlocks my thing, or an answer coming for somebody else that you get the side door benefit of that. That's part of what's so amazing, to be in community, learning with one another. I love this comment from Marlene. She says, you are inspiring me to begin a grandparenting group now that meeting in person is possible. Yes, yes. It's so good to have community around these different aspects of being in relationship to one another. It elevates all of us. Of course, if there's an intention for elevation, like if you're just getting together to collude and complain, that's not going to have the best effect. That is not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about getting together to collude and complain. No, what I'm talking about is getting together for the purpose of sharing how you're growing, what you're working with, what's challenging, what's going well, celebrating your wins together, and living our lives more in community around matters of the heart. Because we need that in this world. I'm Marie Elizabeth Molly, your relationship alchemist. And again, should you like a link to my masterclass that's coming up on Monday, the 25th, please drop the word masterclass in the comments or Instagram, message me, DM me for that. And remember that a great relationship starts with you.